Welcome to a special edition of Gospel Truth with Andrew Wommack. Today, in remembrance of the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision, Andrew is joined by abortion survivor Melissa Ohden.
Years ago, people would ask me, do you think abortion might be ended in your children's lifetime? And I would say, yes, I have hope for that. But I have hope, Andrew, now that legalized abortion will be ended in our lifetime.
Awesome.
And now, here's Andrew.
Welcome to our Monday's broadcast of the Gospel Truth. You know, this week is, at the end of this week, is the 49th anniversary of the Roe versus Wade decision that legalized abortion in the United States. And since then, tens of millions, it's over 60 million children have been aborted. And every year during this time, I always do some things, and I've got a lot of material. We'll be advertising this at the end of the program, but this little thing here, this is a USB that has all of our previous programs and all of the things we've taught, as well as my teaching on what the Bible has to say about abortion, just a lot of things, along with this little booklet that has a lot of stats, and we're offering this. But one of the things we're doing special this week is we've got some guests on, and today I am really, really blessed to have Melissa Ohden with us, and she's been with us twice before. I think 2015 was the first time she came on, and she is unique because she is actually an abortion survivor. And so that was in 77 is when they gave a saline abortion and tried to abort you, and you survived. And what a miracle. Man, it's amazing. But one of the reasons I wanted to have her on was to just put a picture on this. Sometimes they try and dehumanize and say it's not a child. This is a person who was aborted, and you've got, 2 kids now, married? And anyway, just tell us some things about you. And I don't know where we want to start. We've only got one program to go in this, so it's going to have to be really condensed. But I love you, Melissa. You've been a blessing, and we've had some great times. We have. Here previous.
And I thank you for all that you do for life, not only putting a face to, children like me who too many in our culture would say are just a choice, but also bringing healing to people. That's so important as we see everything that's happening politically. We also recognize that abortion has forever impacted our culture, and so people are hurting from abortion.
Absolutely. Not only all of the children that have been killed, but the women, it's devastating to them. It's really tough on them. I know your testimony because I've had you on, and it's too big for us to put into one program. Do they go to melissaohden.com or abortionsurvivors.org? I'm sure you've got materials there, your whole testimony.
Yeah, people can find me all over the place with a story like this at this point in my career in the pro-life movement. People can find videos of me on YouTube sharing my story. My nonprofit is the Abortion Survivors Network, and so my story is very much told through the Abortion Survivors Network also.
And how many abortion survivors have you found?
Yeah, we live in a world that wants to say abortion survivors don't exist, abortions don't fail, late-term abortions don't happen, right? You name an argument, you and I and everyone listening hears those arguments. But statistically, Andrew, we know through the CDC themselves, they were estimating 400 to 500 live births a year after failed abortions.
Per year?
Per year. Dr. Willard Cates of the CDC said this back in 1981.
Well, if it came from the CDC, it's got to be correct.
Isn't that interesting?
I tell you, CDC's lost a lot of credibility in my eyes. Okay.
So if they want us to trust them on other things, then we should trust them on this statistic. So they were saying that as far back as 1981. And again, we would live in a culture that people would want to say, well, that was then. We are much more successful now at making sure people like Melissa don't come into this world. But I've done the math, Andrew, in 400 to 500 live births a year. If we even went on the low end and said, okay, one birth, 365 days a year for 49 years, the number becomes almost 18,000.
Wow.
18,000 people like me who have a name and a face and a voice, an untold story, that live in a culture that wants to silence and shame them. Some survivors don't even know their story, but that's part of really my mission in this world, is to not only humanize the unborn and set people free in their healing, but find other abortion survivors, heal them, empower them, equip them. So at this point, I've found 404 other abortion survivors like me.
And so they're a part of this Abortion Survivors Network. And you're encouraging them to get out and speak. And so this is, instead of it just being one lone voice standing up, there's now multiple people speaking out.
There are. And this is the most exciting thing for me that I've ever done. God has brought me to the most incredible places to serve him. But I can tell you that nothing is as fulfilling as hearing from other abortion survivors, seeing them grow in their healing, offer that forgiveness to their biological family, find their voice. They go from a place of saying, I'm never going to tell anybody my story, to I was meant for this. And so now when people are seeing more abortion survivors sharing their story, and we have a survivor who is part of an ad campaign with the Susan B. Anthony list. All of these survivors are coming through our programs.
That's awesome. Not everybody survives an abortion as well as you did. I mean, you look like you have no problems whatsoever. But I remember Carrie Fisher. I think you know Carrie Fisher, and she's been on my television program. Matter of fact, she will be a part of this. We interviewed her, and she was severely handicapped through it. And so not everybody survives. I know that a lot of people are wondering about, they hadn't seen you before. If you haven't seen the whole thing, please get this, because you need to get the whole story. But quickly tell the people about, it was actually your grandmother that tried to abort you and perform the abortion.
Yeah, every survivor's experience is pretty unique, whether they survived before abortion was legalized, after, whether it was a first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. I kind of fit the public opinion of who an abortion survivor is. So I likely survived at about 31 weeks. My medical records stated 18 to 20. But we know that my abortionist, just like so many, didn't perform any kind of adequate exam. And we know that the abortion was forced upon my birth mother by her own mother, who was a prominent nurse in their community of Sioux City, Iowa. She was able to, bypass hospital regulations and procedures at the time. Didn't think anybody would ever find out that it wasn't my birth mother's choice to have that abortion. And of course, they thought nobody would ever hear from me. And it is a horrific abortion procedure, Andrew, not just for the child, but also for the woman. We know I soaked in a toxic salt solution for 5 days while they just kept trying to induce my birth mother's labor. They believed that the abortion would be successful, especially because it was really taking too long. It shouldn't have taken that long. And so then on the 5th day, when they finally induced her labor, I was supposed to be delivered as a successful abortion. And that's when I was accidentally born alive. You have a birthday. I have a day that I was accidentally born alive. And we live in a world that somehow wants to pretend like maybe that would never happen to them.
And what did they do when you were born alive?
Yeah, this is where it's still a really uncomfortable story for a lot of people. I wish I could say that when I was born alive, all the medical professionals saw my inherent dignity and value and immediately provided me medical care. But the abortion industry calls people like me the dreaded complication of abortion. And so when they see us as that, it influences the way they treat us. So we now know that I was initially laid aside when I was accidentally born alive.
And this was by your grandmother.
Yeah, I was told years ago that it was my abortionist who demanded that I be left to die, but I now know that it was my grandmother who told the other nurses to leave me there. And by looking at my medical records, we know that I was probably left for a period of up to 5 minutes. After that time, I was nearly dead. And we know through contact with medical professionals who have reached out to me that at least one nurse was unwilling to leave me to die and rushed me off to the NICU. Believing that if they provided medical care, they might sustain my life. And that's how I'm here today. Somebody said, yes, Lord.
And your mother, your birth mother, actually thought that the abortion was successful. And she went how many years before? Man, that's quite a story. I wish we had more time to do all this, but quickly give us what happened. I'm sure people are interested.
Yeah, when I was rushed off to the NICU, My birth mother had been told that the abortion was successful. She was told that day, it's hideous, it's a monster, don't look at it. She didn't know if I had been a little boy or a little girl. She simply knew that she lived after that day with incredible regret. And my birth mother's family kept my survival a secret. Even medical professionals at the hospital, bless them, they kept the secret, not knowing if, when, what to tell. And so my birth mother lived with that pain and that suffering for over 30 years before she finally found out that I had survived. And that was because I had come forward with a story, and her family saw me and knew that they finally needed to break their silence. But then it took another, about 7 years on top of that before she reached out to me through one of her family members and we started to communicate. But the beautiful part of that story, this is one of restoration and reconciliation and redemption. She's now a part of my life and my family.
That is awesome. Man, that's great. I wonder about how the grandmother felt about all of this. Did you ever connect with her, or was she gone when you finally connected?
I had some contact with my maternal grandparents about 13 years ago, not knowing the role that they played in that abortion taking place. And, at the time, my grandmother had some health issues, so I don't know if my maternal grandfather let her know that I had reached out to them. But I truly believe in my heart, Andrew, that if she knew, that I hope that brought her some peace.
And so the obvious question is, how did this affect you when you found out that you were aborted and survived and weren't even wanted?
I grew up knowing I was adopted. I thought I had a pretty normal life up until I was about 14 years old. And that's when my survival story came crashing down. And, every survivor finds out in a different way and at a different time. Some survivors have abortions themselves before they even find out their story. Some survivors find out when their parents or their grandparents are on their deathbed and they're confessing these, deep, dark secrets that they've carried. But in my case, my adoptive parents knew my story and wanted to protect me from it. And when my older sister faced an unplanned pregnancy, they told her my story. And so that's how I found out at the age of 14.
And your sister kind of ridiculed you over it, and so it was not a positive way that she explained it to you.
Yeah, looking back on it now, I see God's hand in it. There was probably no other way that I could have found out my story, but she inferred that she was more wanted by her birth parents than I was by mine. And so that's what set the stage for me to sit down with my mom and say, why does she think she was more wanted than I was?
It's not only a miracle that you're alive, Melissa, it's a miracle that you're normal.
It's funny that you say that, because sometimes, I look back on it all, Andrew, and the more I get to know my fellow survivors in our community and we serve them, and I see how much survivors suffer, whether it's physical disabilities or the incredible trauma that they've faced both in the womb and then outside of it. I look back on my life being raised by my adoptive family, and I know that God really protected me from additional suffering.
You really love your family. I've heard you talk about them, and they sound like they were great people. So God blessed you throughout this whole thing. It's amazing.
He did. And, even though it was traumatic finding out my story, and certainly, at the age of 14, I suffered and struggled and sinned and made a lot of mistakes. God brought about such healing and good in the midst of it, and has allowed me to really use that to minister to other people now who are broken. And so I'm blessed to be alive and to be healed and to be supported, and I don't take that for granted.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about the prospects of Roe versus Wade being overturned. I'm sure that, this is a big deal, and you've been fighting for this for a long time. You've testified. I've got a list here. You've been on Fox News, Eric Metastas, Hannity, Huckabee, everybody, and we're making these programs in November, but you're going to be there at the trial December the 1st when they're bringing this before the Supreme Court. So what do you expect to happen there?
For such a time as this, the scripture just keeps running through my head. It makes me emotional because, Years ago, people would ask me, do you think abortion might be ended in your children's lifetime? And I would say, yes, I have hope for that. But I have hope, Andrew, now that legalized abortion will be ended in our lifetime.
That's awesome. I remember, I think it was 2019, the second time you were with me, and we were talking about this, and you were really believing that it could happen. And I mean, at that time, it didn't look like it. But now we are on the cusp of that happening. Matter of fact, it's possible that by the time people see this program, the Supreme Court's already heard these things. And of course, I don't think the decision will come out until the summer of 2022, but it's a possibility. That's
it is.
Awesome.
And I think people need to have hope in that. You know, I wake up every single day, even hearing the most horrible stories of what people are facing through abortion, and I still find hope in that.
And also share with the people, Melissa, that even if the Supreme Court was to overturn Roe versus Wade, that's not the end of abortion.
Right.
So what happens?
And I think we hear people using that as an argument as to why things shouldn't change. Lives deserve to be protected and respected. And I believe our government has a duty to protect lives like mine and protect women from suffering and families from suffering. So yeah, depending on what happens at the Supreme Court, what we would see is, you know, the lives being protected at the federal level, and it would be kicked back to the states, which is what it looked like before Roe versus Wade. And again, the other side does a powerful job of fear mongering and make us, you know, think, oh, we don't want to go back to that. States should have say.
They should. It was actually unconstitutional, I believe, for the federal government to rule that you could, you know, pass something like that. States should have that right. And we're seeing states like Virginia and New Jersey and New York and different things like this that are anticipating that Roe versus Wade could be overcome. So they are actually passing laws that allow, even after a child is born and perfectly healthy, if the mother was to say, I don't want it, they just let it die. So the battle is not going to be over with this, but it'll be a major victory.
It will be. And, you know, that's where the hard work continues to take place for pregnancy centers to serve women in the beautiful ways that they already are doing. But that's part of what I remind folks is, you know what, the work of pregnancy centers is going to be needed even more after something like that happens, because women deserve true choices and resources and support. And we know that it's the pro-life movement that is offering that. That's not the abortion industry and lobby who are saying, hey, let me support you in your time of need. They're saying, hey, let me take you for an abortion. And
they're misrepresenting everything. They're saying that if Planned Parenthood was to go out of business or something, women would not have all of these choices. And yet, you probably know these figures better than I do, but I think it's like 600 Planned Parenthoods, and there's thousands of pregnancy centers that provide every service that a Planned Parenthood does except abortion. No woman would be without any of the things that they need and stuff. It's a ruse. It's a lie.
Yeah, and you know, at a tiny figure of the overhead that Planned Parenthood gets.
Yes. And so anyway, praise God. So you've got a ministry. You've been fighting this for a long time. Tell them a little bit about your ministry. I think you said you got a number of employees and it takes money to run this. I'd encourage people to support you. How would they do that?
I do. So I came forward with my story in 2007, never having any idea, Andrew, that there were tens of thousands of people like me. And, you know, as I looked across the landscape and as I got involved in the pro-life movement, I kept thinking, wow, you know what, somebody should serve people like me. We are hurt emotionally, mentally, spiritually,
but you might have thought
physically.
You were the only one.
Right. And as time went on, though, and I'd hear people's stories and they needed healing, I would think somebody should do something about this. And over the years, I would, you know, help survivors share their story. I would connect them privately with one another for a relationship. And really, it was that 2019 where I looked at everything happening in the world, all the survivors and families contacting me and saying, Melissa, we need help. And this living in this world is traumatizing. I don't know if I can ever share my story. And I looked around and went, Lord, it's me, isn't it? It was me all along. You need me to create an organization to serve people and change our culture. And so since 2019, we're a nonprofit at the Abortion Survivors Network. We also have a C4, which allows us to do political work.
Oh,
so we have the education.
I got a C4 too, yeah.
Yeah, so we have the Education and Policy Center, where we have a government affairs staff who is in constant contact with members of Congress, getting our stories in their hands, making sure our survivors' names are mentioned on the floor, and we're giving them very timely statistics. We're the organization who knows abortion survivors and failed abortions. So we need to be at the forefront. But we offer healing programs. We run 2 healing groups a year. It's 14 weeks long. I wrote the specialized curriculum as a master's prepared social worker. We run speakers training. We have a speaking coach who helps survivors learn how to share their story. We do educational groups so survivors can learn the skills to go out and deal with the media, know what it means to advocate, understand the political world, what it really means. And then we create opportunities for them to share their stories and have a voice. And this is the first time really in 49 years that any organization like ours has existed that serves survivors and families. And we're launching all of these survivors into the public eye. This is how we change it.
And as I said, we're making this in advance, but you are planning on being at the Supreme Court hearings of this, and you may testify, but at least you're going to be there with the banner or something.
I will be. You will see me on stage. I might be showing a beautiful sign that reminds the world that babies survive abortions, and I'm one of them.
Amen. And you not only survive, but you're married, you've got kids, you're going to have grandkids if the Lord tarries. Just think of what would have happened if you hadn't have survived. And think what's happened to over 60 million kids, what their future could have been. It's been a terrible tragedy. I appreciate you standing up, Melissa. You're a blessing.
I appreciate you standing up alongside us.
I tell you, we're going to end this thing. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And when it happens, people like Melissa are the heroes that have been in the trenches fighting and making it happen. And I tell you what, we need to support them. So we'll put that information on the screen, but they can go to melissaoden.com or abortionsurvivors.org. Mm-hmm. And what are your needs? What are you looking for?
We have a lot of needs. As a relatively new nonprofit that got started during the pandemic, we've been making an impact for years, but all of our programs exploded. And we are the only organization, Andrew, worldwide who offers this service. And so we serve abortion survivors from 18 different countries. Right now, we have a survivor from Sri Lanka who is in our healing group. We've had, survivors from South Africa. People from around the world come together even on a monthly basis for our community groups where they come face to face with their family. We're family in a world that wants to reject us when we've been rejected by biological family, no matter what kind of circumstance drove it. And so monthly supporters would be huge for us, even people to come alongside us with any size of gift that would allow us to really build to capacity to meet this incredible need that exists in our society.
And you've got one book, You Carried Me, a daughter's memoir, and it's already published. And then you got a second one coming out in 2022, the abortions. What's the name of that one?
The working title right now of my second book is More Than a Choice: Abortion Survivors Break Their Silence.
And so anyway, those things will be available on your website, and we'll have that information on the screen. We're just about out of time today, but again, you can get not only everything I've said here today, but all of the previous interviews for the last 7 or 8 years that we've been doing on this, along with this little booklet on observing all things, which has a lot of statistics on this. And our announcer will give you more information about how you can do that. I encourage you to listen and participate. And the rest of this week, we're going to have special programs. Melissa will be back at the end of the week to be a part of a panel, and it's going to be awesome. So check it out. God bless you. Make sure you get these materials today.
In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions. The majority in cases from Texas and Georgia said that the decision to end a pregnancy during the first 3 months belongs to the woman and her doctor, not the government.
Before he formed me in my mother's womb, he knew me. Before I was born, he sanctified me. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal They are adults by their creator with certain unalienable rights. That monkeys are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Remember, it's my choice. It's God's choice. It's a baby choice. It's our choice. Not yours. Choose life. Choose life. Choose life!
So cute, he's so tiny.
We hope you've enjoyed Andrew's interview with Melissa Ohden. For more information about Melissa or to order her book, You Carried Me, visit her website at melissaohden.com.
Once again, I'd like to encourage you to get this product. This is a little USB in here that has multiple years worth of my teachings about Roe versus Wade during that anniversary week. I've got teachings against abortion, what the Bible has to say about it. You will get the recordings of all of the interviews that we did this week. I promise you it'll be a blessing. Plus you'll get this little book on observing all things. So listen to our announcer as he gives you the information, and please get these materials today.
This week's interview with Melissa Ohden, Kristen Hawkins, Janet Porter, as well as their 2-day panel discussion is available on a special Choose Life USB. Also included on this flash drive, you'll find many more interviews and testimonies relating to abortion. This Choose Life USB flash drive will be accompanied by the Observing All Things booklet that contains many statistics and scriptures with regard to abortion and other social issues. You can get these valuable resources today for a gift of any amount. This entire series is also available for audio download, absolutely free from our website. We want to say a special thank you to the grace partners of Andrew Wommack Ministries. Your gifts make it possible to put free ministry materials into the hands of many people in need. If you're not already a grace partner, we ask you to pray about becoming one today. You can become a grace partner through our website at awmi.net. You can also order resources or receive prayer by calling our helpline at 719-635-1111. Our helpline is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To write us, use the address on your screen. We appreciate your generosity and hope to hear from you today.
For over 25 years, Andrew Wommack has been involved with and supported our Colorado Springs Pregnancy Center and has seen the lives of many thousands of babies spared. Presently an outreach of Life Network, the Pregnancy Center offers several valuable services, ranging from free pregnancy tests to personal counseling, classes covering pregnancy to infant care, and supplies spanning from maternity wear to diapers and baby clothing. They also offer post-abortion counseling, which ministers to women who have already experienced the heartache of abortion. Andrew has since retired from the board of directors, but continues to support the Colorado Springs Pregnancy Centers. If you'd like more information, please visit elifenetwork.com or cspregnancycenter.com.
Andrew has many conferences and seminars around the globe each year. For the latest information on Andrew's complete speaking schedule, visit our website at awmi.net/events.